I've always felt different. From a young age, it was as if I was living in a world that moved to a rhythm I couldn't quite grasp, like I was out of sync with the world around me. The hustle and bustle of daily life seemed to pass me by, leaving me in a state of perpetual confusion. People called me sensitive, dramatic, even difficult. They didn't see the world through my eyes, where every interaction felt like a puzzle I couldn't solve. I struggled to fit in, to understand social cues, to keep up with conversations. It was as if everyone else had a manual for life that I was missing. Their words stung, but deep down, I knew they didn't understand. I didn't understand myself. I often wondered if there was something inherently wrong with me. Growing up in a bustling British town, I often felt like I was on the outside looking in. The vibrant life around me was a stark contrast to the turmoil within. My energy was boundless, my mind racing with thoughts. I had a thirst for knowledge and a desire to create, but my enthusiasm was often misunderstood. I longed for connection, but my attempts often went awry. My eagerness to bond was seen as overbearing, my passion as overwhelming. I was labeled as too much or too sensitive. The world seemed to have no place for someone like me, someone who felt everything so deeply. Their words hurt, but a part of me knew they were seeing a version of me that I didn't know how to explain. I was a mystery even to myself. Years passed, and I found myself living in a vibrant African town, married with a beautiful son. The change of scenery brought new experiences and challenges. Life was good, but that nagging feeling of being misunderstood persisted. Despite the love and support of my family, I still felt like an outsider. I poured my energy into my family, finding solace in their love and acceptance. They became my anchor, grounding me in moments of doubt. Little did I know that my greatest challenge, and ultimately my greatest gift, lay ahead. It was a journey of self-discovery that would change everything. My son, a bright, curious boy, began to show signs of struggling. He had difficulty focusing, often fidgeting and squirming. His emotions were intense, his meltdowns frequent. Doctors assured me it was just a phase, but my intuition told me otherwise. Something wasn't right. I watched my son, his frustration mirroring my own childhood experiences. The knowing looks from other parents, the whispers of "he just needs more discipline," brought back a flood of memories. I knew in my heart that this was more than just a phase. My son, like me, was wired differently. After countless doctors' visits and sleepless nights, the diagnosis came: ADHD and autism. It was a moment of mixed emotions. On one hand, there was a sense of relief that finally we had an answer. On the other hand, there was a daunting realization of the journey ahead. Relief washed over me, followed by a wave of determination. I knew that this was just the beginning, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. My son deserved the best, and I was committed to providing it. I vowed to learn everything I could about these conditions, to become an advocate for my son, to create a world where he felt seen and understood. I immersed myself in books, attended community meetings, and connected with other parents who were on similar journeys. This was the beginning of my journey, a journey not just of understanding my son's needs, but also of discovering my own strengths and capabilities. Each step forward was a step towards a brighter future for both of us. The weight of the diagnosis was heavy, yet it lifted a weight from my shoulders. It gave a name to the struggles we had faced, and in that name, there was power. Power to seek help, power to make informed decisions, and power to advocate for my son's needs. Finally, there was a name for the challenges my son faced, for the struggles I had endured. It was a validation of our experiences, and it brought a sense of clarity and direction. This was not a sign of weakness, but a different way of experiencing the world. It was a reminder that everyone has their unique path, and that path is worth fighting for. Armed with this knowledge, I felt a surge of empowerment. I was no longer in the dark. I had a roadmap, and I was ready to navigate it with confidence and resilience. I would fight for my son, and in doing so, I would discover myself. This journey was not just about him, it was about us, and the strength we would find together. I devoured books, articles, and research papers. Every piece of information felt like a new puzzle piece falling into place, revealing a clearer picture of my own experiences. I immersed myself in online communities, connecting with other parents, navigating similar paths. These connections provided a sense of belonging and understanding that I had never felt before. The more I learned about ADHD and autism, the more pieces of my own life began to fall into place. It was as if a veil had been lifted and I could finally see myself clearly. My energy, my sensitivity, my struggles with focus, could it be? Could these traits that I had always seen as flaws actually be part of a larger picture? With each article, each shared story, I felt a growing sense of recognition. It was as if I was reading about my own life, my own struggles, and my own triumphs. The symptoms of ADHD, once foreign and perplexing, now resonated deeply within me. They were no longer just words on a page. They were a reflection of my own experiences. Could it be that the very challenges I had spent my life trying to hide were actually a part of who I was? This realization was both daunting and liberating, opening up a new path of self-discovery and acceptance. Section 5. An unexpected revelation. It hit me like a lightning bolt. A passing comment in an online forum, a shared symptom, a moment of clarity. Suddenly I was looking in a mirror, my own reflection staring back at me. It was ADHD. The diagnosis meant for my son unlocked a lifetime of self-doubt and misunderstanding. I finally understood myself. The realization was both exhilarating and terrifying. All those years of feeling different, of questioning myself, now made sense. It wasn't my fault. My brain was wired differently, and that was okay. Section 6. Embracing my neurodiversity. Armed with this newfound understanding, I embarked on a journey of self-acceptance. I learned to embrace my neurodiversity, to celebrate my strengths, to navigate my challenges with grace and compassion. The world, once a confusing and overwhelming place, began to make sense. My energy, once a source of shame, became my superpower. My sensitivity, once a vulnerability, became my strength. I learned to advocate for my needs, to set boundaries, to create a life that honored my unique way of being. Section 7. A new purpose. My journey of self-discovery ignited a passion within me. I couldn't keep this knowledge to myself. I had to share it, especially within the African community where understanding of neurodiversity was limited. I envisioned a world where my son and others like him could thrive, celebrated for their differences. This became my mission. I started small, sharing my story with other parents, organizing workshops, advocating for greater awareness and understanding. The response was overwhelming. People were hungry for knowledge, for support, for a shift in perspective. Section 8. Breaking down barriers. The journey hasn't been easy. Stigma and misinformation run deep, particularly in communities with limited access to resources and support. But with each conversation, each workshop, each person I reach, I chip away at the barriers of ignorance and fear. I see a future where neurodiversity is not a barrier, but a source of strength and innovation, where our differences are celebrated, not shunned, where every child, regardless of how their brain is wired, has the opportunity to reach their full potential. Section 9. A legacy of understanding. My journey from misunderstanding to empowerment is far from over. It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and advocating for change. But I'm no longer that little girl who felt lost and alone. I found my voice, my purpose, and in doing so, I hope to inspire others to embrace their own unique journeys. This is my legacy, a legacy of understanding, acceptance, and empowerment. It's a legacy I'm proud to leave for my son, for myself, and for all those who have ever felt different. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content.